remember this name, Tareq Hadhad. He's the founder and CEO of a local business in Nova Scotia called Peace by Chocolate, and he joins us now. Hello, Tareq.
Good morning, folks. Thank you for having me.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Your story starts, we'll talk about the event here in a second, but your story is amazing. Starts in Syria. When was the decision made to come here?
Well, it was after we lost everything to the war. No one was born to immigrate, right? No one was born to become a refugee. Becoming a refugee is not a life goal. It's not a decision. It's not something that you hope for. So back in 2012, a mortar rocketed near me and my brother, and then we had to leave the country right after. But 3 months earlier, one of the largest chocolate factories that my family owned was destroyed by an airstrike. And that really led us to become refugees in Lebanon. Imagine losing everything in a split of the moment, in an absolutely blink of an eye. And then we were, imagine, for 2.5 years in Lebanon as refugees, counting down to death until Canada opened the doors for us, which was absolutely fascinating because countries are closing the doors in the face of refugees, right? There's a lot of anxiety and hatred out there. I really believe that we are a loving and caring nation.
And what was your feeling and your family's feeling when you landed here in Canada?
You know, it's like giving another chance of life. Our story is all about second chances. Our story is all about rebirth. It's about reinvention. It's about renewal. And since we arrived here, you know, even when we started the business in Canada, I was always reflecting on the fact that in businesses, a lot of people talk about the ROI, the return on investment. In business now, we talk about the ROK, the return on kindness. And I really want every person to think about how kindness can change the lives of immigrants, given just a hand when we come here. I landed in December. If I knew I would come to Canada in December, I would have never applied. But Canadians are very smart, let me tell you, in the way that we promote this country to immigrants. Before coming here, every picture and every article, every video I saw was between May and October. No one shows you the horrors between November and April. The only thing you see is the beautiful summer activities, actually, before coming here.
We are a many seasons country, but you came right in the heart of one specific season.
And I survived. I'm a survivor now, officially.
Was the chocolate business always going to get started again here? Any doubts on that?
Not at all, actually. You know, I studied medicine back home in Seixeiro, and my family ran that enterprise. And then when I landed here, I thought to myself, listen, I did not come here to take jobs. I came here to create them. And there was a lot of anxiety at the time, you know, and people were like, why are we opening the doors for immigrants while we have our own issues in the country? Let's focus on homelessness. Let's focus on those so they can find, you know, food. And then I told them, you know, like, kindness is the right choice. And by bringing people here, they're already contributing. No one comes here to take. Everyone comes here to contribute. And that's exactly what my family did. In a small town in Ganesh, where traffic jam is like 2 cars trying to turn left at the Tim Hortons drive-through, not like in Toronto, you know? So that's why I love living there. But we really love our community that has been so supportive to us.
Oh, I love Antigonish. That's one of my favorite spots out east. It's
I
have been.
Oh, good for you.
A great community, great musical community as well. You became a Canadian citizen in January 2021, and now your whole family have become Canadians as well. And you say you feel a moral responsibility to give back to Canada. Oh.
I do. You know, when you are successful, it is absolutely your moral responsibility to lift others to success. And, you know, we knew when we created that business that the community needs jobs. We felt that the retention rate in that community was dropping. People were leaving to bigger cities. As an immigrant myself, I only knew about Canada, the MTV, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. And I knew that smaller towns, they didn't really have much of, you know, an awareness that immigrants don't really know much about living in a small community on the East Coast in Nova Scotia. I actually didn't know much about Nova Scotia until I landed at Pearson Airport. So my mission has been ever since to create one of the strongest and largest employers in the community and really grow that business. Now we have Peace by Chocolate. I'm sorry, I have to do advertising here, but Peace by Chocolate is a really delicious product, folks. It's
so I hear.
Great.
And it's here.
It's a great product, great feature on the morning show. The factory is in Ganesh. We have stores in Nova Scotia. We distribute across Canada, and we sell as well now across the world, where we proudly promote ourselves as a Canadian company.
Fantastic.